are the best at streaming of all the people.
Welcome. Welcome to our second attempt.
Oh,
Our second attempt at this
sorry to
stream.
again. I'm gonna apologize to everybody for what you're about to witness. Me and Havo. Nobody should have to sit through this. Two football game developers going through a nervous breakdown live on stream.
Oh my God.
At least
Suicide watch.
this time.
Suicide watch, man. I don't know.
Oh my God. You think we know how to stream by now, but you'd be wrong. Like we don't know what we're doing.
Well, we've been talking about streaming because streaming for us is a way for us to get together and talk face to face. And then it's also a way for us to kind of just have some therapy and also, talk to you guys. And I don't know. So we're doing a stream, obviously. If you're here, welcome. If you're not here, probably better off. You're better off for not coming. But if you want to have a little bit of, I don't know, raw football talk, we're gonna talk about a couple things. Some news that we saw yesterday with, EA and the license and all that. We're gonna get into that. We're gonna dive into that. That's always fun. That's always therapeutic.
That's fun. Yeah.
It's fun to like laugh at ourselves, which is what you kind of have to do. You kind of have to laugh at yourself and kind of just not be so serious, because at the end of the day, none of this stuff's going to matter when we're all dead. It's not going to matter.
We're all dead.
It's just not going to matter. I mean, it's the truth. Like, I think I take things way too seriously, and I don't want to anymore. I don't want to.
It's funny. We did talk about this before we had sound. But we're both kind of taken after this young buck on YouTube that we started watching. I don't know, his name's Snook or something like that.
Yeah,
just
Snooks.
Some dude that he just came.
I'm just making sure everything's working.
Yeah, I know. I did the same thing.
Well, we have 12 people here, so thank you for coming. And like I said, if you want to hang around, we'll be talking in the chat. This is not going to be a very serious stream. We got some of the guys in here from the Discord. You guys are always faithful, crazy like we are about football games and the whole football landscape. And we're gonna dive into that. We're gonna talk about the news that we just kind of heard last night. I mean, I don't know. I saw it last night and I saw that Soft Drink TV was doing a live stream. I mean, he jumped right on it and he was playing some ESPN.
Did he? I didn't even know that. I haven't seen any of his stuff in a while.
Me neither. I don't think I follow him anymore, just because I don't know. I'm kind of like checked out of football stuff, and I feel bad for him because just like I feel bad for myself, to be honest. But he had some success, right, doing football videos, and all of a sudden, I think he made the ESPN video, and all of a sudden that success turned into, this is a way I can make money. And then you fast forward, and all of a sudden you're hit with the reality that, oh shit, now I'm a YouTuber and I'm making Madden content and I'm making football content and sports content. And before you know it, I'm sure he's burnt out. I'm sure he's so sick and tired of trying to bleed that rock, because I don't know, man, like that, talk about a very pigeonhole like type of way to make money. I mean, there's so many things you can do on YouTube, and they all probably get old over time. But I think it'd be like, if I was going to do a YouTube channel, a real one, then I would probably try to pick something that I think makes me feel good, not just talk about like, I don't know, how ESPN was the best game ever and Madden's never going to freaking let go of the license. And then, you're going to get kicked in the balls every freaking few years. But anyways,
I think if I did an actual YouTube channel where I tried to be a YouTuber, yeah, I'm with you. I would do something totally different than what, like I'm, Like,
well, first of all, you would probably plan it the right way. You'd probably make some good art. You'd probably have
something like making clay pots or some nonsense that is just way out there.
But what I love about the Snooks guys is he's so He's good. I mean, he's a good speaker.
He's awesome.
He's
Yeah, I like
very
him.
like charismatic the way he talks, but he's also like a guy that's just you could tell he's so raw and so authentic. Like it's just like I don't know. But it brings you back to the MySpace days or the early days of YouTube where
Yeah.
people just did these raw, uncut, unfiltered. He's just good on camera, and he was a
Yeah.
comedian. I just found out like from watching. I don't know if you knew that, but I was watching one last night, and he was a comedian when he was 23. I mean, just doing these little side hustle things. He was
Yeah.
trying to find his way, and so he probably learned a lot about how to be on stage, how to be in front, how
Yeah.
to talk to people, and in front of a camera, in front of an audience, and I've never been really great at that. So
Yeah. Who
he's
am I
cool.
kidding? If I did an actual YouTube channel, I would definitely just be like trauma dumping the whole time.
Yeah, yeah.
I would be just like Snooks. Like that's what I would do.
But you have to also be like, you have to have some talent there or some just innate ability to just talk to a camera, like talk to the
Yeah.
fucking camera. Like, I don't want to talk to a camera, man. I don't even want to talk to anybody, to be honest with you. But a camera is even worse. It's like a dead electronic device staring at you with one eye. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's a good way to
Jesus.
start a stream too. Is just look right in the dead ass in the camera and be like, I don't want to talk to people.
Like the one guy, the RV There Yet game that just came out that's doing very well. And that the guy that does the streams for that, he's the best. He's good too.
Really?
He's just you could tell he's just very like I don't know, very people person type of guy. Doesn't give a The best people are the guys who just don't give a shit, and you can tell by the way they look, their hair, their beards, their face.
Yo.
They probably haven't had one piece of lettuce in the past 20 years. Like they don't even eat. Like they eat, they smoke, they drink. They're trying to kill themselves, but they're kind of happy. They're kind of like happy in their
I
own
love that
way.
YouTube is bringing those guys back. I'm so sick of the overproduced crap on YouTube. Like everybody wants to be TV quality. Like I'm so happy now that there's just people, they sit down at their dirty ass desk with their busted ass blinds in the background and they just hit record and they just riff. Like I love that. I'm
Yeah.
so glad it's coming back.
Well, but the way to do it is you have to have a certain personality. You have to be able to be entertaining, even though he's entertaining, but he's not like trying to be entertaining. Like just a
No.
raw
It's just interesting.
yeah, he's
He's just a
interesting.
real person,
Yeah, and I'm just too much of a dork to figure that out. But anyways,
know?
so what about you? What do you want to share with this audience? I mean, I know you've been doing. Let's just talk about game dev because I know you and I. Let's just
Yeah.
share kind of where we are with things because I think we always talk on on Discord, and I think it's cool if you and I just have a conversation here and people kind
Yeah.
of hear it would be nice.
Yeah, I'm at that. So this is one of those areas. I don't think people realize this when people who aren't making games or trying to start their own business maybe don't realize, but like there's an intersection sometimes between game dev and real life, right? And Hava and I have different situations, right? I work full time and I try to do game dev part time, but I've tried to do game dev full time. So like there's always in the back of my head, like, wouldn't it be cool if I made this game that was successful and I could continue to do this? So like every once in a while, real life comes along and kicks you in the nuts repeatedly forever and reminds you that like, yeah, you have a job, but like at any moment you could lose that job. And what are you going to do when you lose that job? Like I'm not in my 20s anymore. I'm not in my 30s, right? Like I'm in my 50s, so like I don't have potential anymore. So like if I lose my job, it's going to be really hard for me to get another one. The reason I say that is because that was the safe thing that lets me do game dev as a hobby, right? When you don't have the pressure of money, like hobbies are fun and you can do them and you can not worry about money. Well, now that I'm worried about money, all of a sudden game dev feels different. And like the stress of, am I working on a game that nobody is going to care about, like all of a sudden becomes real. Whereas when you feel safe in your job, it's like I can make a game just because I want to make it. So those two things colliding has sent me into a mild tailspin over the last week. And like it feels like I'm having some sort of mental breakdown or I don't know
I
what's
think we
going
all
on
are,
there.
and as
I
the
feel like we all are too. Yeah, like even Riley, she's at school right now, but she's having a mental breakdown too, like we all are.
I think it has to do with the, time of year also, because we're heading into the holidays, and that's always, I think for me, it's always a, like a sentimental thing. And the skies are getting darker, it's getting colder. I mean, not very cold here yet, but we're starting to see a little bit, which is nice, but it's also like that, sunset of the
Yeah.
year happening. But going back to the whole game dev thing and like what we've done, I think I was watching a video. One thing I'm doing too much of, which I know is not good for my mental health, is I'm watching way too much YouTube. I don't do Twitter. I don't do
Me too.
TikTok. I don't
Yeah.
do any of those other like Instagram. I do YouTube, and I try to. I'm always trying to learn things, whether it be from the markets or game dev or hobbies I have. I'm always kind of watching like longer videos or guys that just hate their lives. Like I was watching a guy yesterday that basically he was having, and YouTube will send you things. It will show you on your timeline things that you watch, right? They're pretty smart, right? And it's
Yeah.
definitely a rabbit hole, like Joey says. But I enjoy it, but then I also find myself kind of feeling some mental, like I just start feeling like anxiety, and I don't know if it's from all the YouTube or seeing all these people and stories and things, and there's something going on there that's not good for my brain. But I was watching a guy yesterday, and he was talking about how he's depressed, and he sounds like he's not enjoying life at all. It's not funny, but it kind of is when you think about it. But I was thinking about when you were talking about how the fact that we're older now, and we've done all these things in our lives, and like one of the guys in the comments says, well, one guy said he was 86 and he was still learning and doesn't think about death, and I know I think about death a lot
I think
more.
about death right now.
I think about I think about I've always thought I was going to die earlier. I don't know why. I still feel that way. It's a health like anxiety I probably have, but as I get older, I don't feel like I'm going to live long, but maybe I'll live to be a long. I don't know. Either way, the thing that happens that I was reading about was this guy was saying, I've accomplished so many things in my life, or I've experienced so many things in my life. You're young, you have your childhood years, you have your friends, you have, your high school, your college, whatever, your work, your jobs. And it's like, when you're just a regular person, like you're not famous, you're not an athlete, you're not this mega multi-billionaire, you're just a regular person in this world, you know, there's only so much you can really do as far as experiences go. Yeah, you can go travel, which I don't really travel much, but you could do things like that. But you know, you start to feel like, okay, what else is there to life? And then when you stop, when you say, okay, getting kicked in the balls by your kid, getting the world kicking you, all it is about money nowadays, right? So it's like
Yeah.
now you're at a point where you're just thinking about money, 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 money. And there was this era, there was this point in my life where I was like, man, I've worked corporate America my whole life, and it's never really panned out for me. I've tried to do things with, businesses and friends or whatever. That didn't work out. They were all motivated by money. Like they were all money motivating things to kind of, get somewhere in life. But those didn't ever work out. And then I'm like, I'm done. And I was done, and I was ready to, and I was going to quit. And literally, like, they called me in, and, for those of you guys who know the story, like, they called me in and they actually laid me off, which was better because I was just going to quit that day.
Damn.
Um, and I got to a point where I just didn't want to do it anymore. And I wanted to make, my games. Right. So I went down that rabbit hole, and now I'm at like a point where I'm like, now what? Because I've done the career, I've done the game thing. And now I'm at a point where I'm struggling because I don't know what to do next. And I've been kind of like going back and forth with that.
No.
But no, it's not about me. It's just more about like my story. I'm sure a lot of people are dealing with the same thing. It's like life just eats at you. And yeah, there are things you can do to get motivated, and you can always learn. And I think learning's good too, to kind of keep us growing and keep us feeling better and doing hobbies. But I don't know, we get to a point where it's depressing, and it's just like, what do you do next? Because the depressing part for me is the money, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you can't learn anymore. You can't do hobbies anymore because everything has to revolve around making more money.
And you feel like, I'm sure you feel it too, because everybody
Yeah,
I
I mean,
talk
we
to
all
does.
feel that.
Well, no,
Yeah,
you feel like time flies too. Like my days, I'll blink
exactly.
my eye, and A, it's Groundhog's Day, and then B, it's also like, man, where did my day go? Like, what am I doing with my life? And you start to. That's another thing about getting older and having a family and accumulating things. You start to realize that your bucket gets filled very quickly, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden you're like, wait a second. You feel like you're busy. You feel like you're actually being productive, but really, you have to go back and kind of massage that and say, you know what? What am I doing with my time? Because yes,
Yeah.
time is flying by faster, and that is like a known phenomenon that as you get older, it does fly by faster. And I don't know why that feeling is there, but maybe the
I
scientific
don't know.
reasoning behind it. But there's something there. And I live around all old people, and they're always telling me, "Wait till you get older; it's even faster." I'm like, okay.
Yeah, great.
But then I look back at it and I say, okay, well, if time's going to fly that fast, I need to find a way to make the most of my time, and that's where, the whole money thing, when I start thinking about money, which I do every single day, it's one of those things where, you can you can get caught up in it. And I just wish that we didn't have to worry about that so much, because I think that there'd be a
Yeah.
lot more creative people out there in the world, than what we have now. But anyways,
Yeah. Midlife crisis time.
that's my depressing story. So people are still here. I don't know why. But I'm actually, this isn't about being depressed. It's more about the reality of game dev. I mean, anybody who does game dev, anybody who tries to break away from the real world and a real job has to face this. And then when you realize that, people have jobs because it at least gives them jobs, like jobs kind of turn off your brain. Like you go, it's structured, you don't have to ever think about getting paid. You're getting paid, you're getting your benefits, and it just puts you on autopilot.
Hmm.
And in like a weird way, it's kind of a better thing for your mental health, because now it's like when we used to go to school, like when we were like in, grade school or whatever, you dealt with school. You go, you deal with it, you have fun when you can, when nobody's looking, you come in late to class, you bullshit around, you get through the day, and then you go and have your fun, right? You're released, you have your
Yeah.
fun, you do your hobby, you have your outlet. But when you're on your own, I don't have that, like, back and forth, that separation. To me, it's like I'm always trying to think. Like I'm in a forest, like lost every single day. Whereas when
Yeah.
you're in, the system, you kind of go to jail for the day, and then you have fun however you can, and you leave. And then you have a way to recoup, and then now you got to go back and look forward to it again. Then your weekends are great because it's like, shit, I'm out for the weekend. Forget this job, forget this place, and I'm enjoying my life. But
With nothing else.
everything's kind of set for you, and you don't have to worry about, at least finding a way to make money. Now, you have other worries, right? Your job, you
Yeah,
may
that
not
would
be
be
happy.
nice if they didn't always hold the keys, that they could take it away from you at any moment.
Yeah, but you know what? A lot of companies are also scared to fire people. Like they don't want to get
Yeah,
sued.
you could say that to somebody who hasn't been laid off 10 times.
Yeah. I know
You
my
know,
wife, whenever and
like,
even me, like at jobs I've had,
that's not going to work for me.
when we've wanted to lay people off, HR is always like, well, you got to start this, this plan of trying to help them.
It
And
used to be like that. It's not like that anymore. Like
well,
layoffs are a
for her company, it
quarterly,
still is. I don't know why, but it is. And I'm in Florida, so maybe Florida has a
maybe,
different,
yeah,
set
maybe.
of rules. But
All I know is around here, like layoffs are just our balance sheet doesn't look good this quarter. Lay off 100 people. Like
geez,
it's just random.
that's crazy, man.
It's insane.
But if you go around and you follow like any game dev channels, everybody tries to act like it's so great, so much fun,
Yeah,
because they
I
have to
wonder
try
what
to,
the hell are they doing? Like,
because nobody wants to watch this. Like anybody
yeah, I
watching
mean
this,
that's probably true. I mean, look,
anybody
we're
anybody
the
watching this
Snook
is
of
like
game
this.
devs.
These guys are going to kill themselves because this is ridiculous. Like that
Yeah, who
nobody.
wants to log in and hear like log into YouTube and hear how bad life is for an hour?
Well, they want to be entertained at whatever level, and it could be,
Yeah,
just somebody talking about their depressing lives, or it could be something that's fun, right? But I
I
don't
hate
know.
the fact that I actually love watching videos like that.
I know. I'm the same way, dude. I'm like, I don't know. I think I might be my own worst enemy because I like negativity. I'm drawn to all that
Yeah.
stuff. I'm not drawn to the fake optimism, that people bring. But I know
You
that's
know
what
what I
people
love?
want to
I
hear.
love what I love about the not the fake, like the trauma videos and the like my life, all that stuff. It's just what I love about it is you can feel it. Like you can see it on them, you can feel it on them that there's a real person on the other side of that camera who's feeling real things, and it's not Instagram shit. It's not
Clickbait
like
stuff.
all the
Yeah.
pseudo game devs who are like, oh, look, this is how you make $1 million in game dev, and you look and they never released a successful game. It's like it's not fake. It's a real person going through real things that also I'm going through, and like I love it. I think, and like this is my struggle at work too, and it's all the same thing, right? Game dev, the real world out there, social media, like I struggle with people at work who are afraid to be real people. I have this argument all the time with my leadership. Is like, why can't you just be a normal person? Like, why do you have to speak in all these weird words? Why do you have to have like all these dumb expectations that provide nothing but stress? Like, just be a normal person and everything will work out.
They
Like
don't know how
YouTube's
to
the same
be.
way. I love watching the things where people are just a normal person.
The worst people are the people that act like they know everything and they don't know
Yeah,
anything,
it's like
and they bullshit you all the time, and they
yes.
they try to act like they know all this stuff, and it's like, dude, like, I mean, I'm way too honest. Like when I go to an interview, I don't oversell myself. And there are people who just
No.
act like they know everything and I can read right through them in 2 seconds. But most people are full of shit. They're absolute like con artists, scumbag, political bastards who are just trying to step on you. I mean, I've had jobs where I've managed people and those people were trying to get my job. And they liked me into my face and they talked to me and but they're trying to make money too. And they're trying to find a way to move up in the system, and they're going to talk behind
But
your
it's like
back.
if you talk to that person outside of work, they would just be a normal person and they wouldn't act like that. But then some reason, like when you get to work or you get on Instagram or you get on YouTube, all of a sudden you forget that you're a human being.
Yeah, because everybody's trying to hedge themselves,
Yeah.
like they're trying to like leverage and to get, and everyone's programmed now to make money and not fall behind. And that's just, and
I
people are
know. It's
just
so sad.
insecure, and and they're trying to prove things to people that they're somebody that they're not. And the worst people are the people that act like they're so happy because they show off the money they don't even have. Like they'll buy a car with money they don't have, right? They'll live above their
Instagram
means.
shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just like keeping up with the Joneses stuff. Like you see people that have this money and they look like they're all happy, but they every night before they go to bed, they look like they want to kill themselves probably, and they're not happy. And most people in this world aren't happy. And I think that we've lost something in this world where people are so focused on making money and spending money that they're not taking time, which is what I've always, at least for so many years now, I've been programmed to, even when I was young, like I've always been programmed to think about time is so much more important to me than money, because time is more valuable. We only have so much time on this earth, and our health is only going to last for so long. And but then again, if you're not focusing on money and you're not focusing on getting ahead, then you're going to also be miserable because you're going to have time, but you're going to have
Yeah.
nothing to feel good about. And so whatever. I mean, things are good. If I can't complain about my life overall, I really can. I mean, somebody might look at my situation and be like, "Wow, you're lucky. You're not working at a job," and I'm not. And I used to dream of not working at a job and doing something on my own. But then when reality sets in and you're like, "Wait a second, you know, you're not 20 years old in your mom's basement. You have a family, you
Yeah.
have a son, you have, responsibilities, and you're only getting older, and then you blink and it's just like you're going to be retired." But I mean, listen, this is like
Retire.
real hard, like talk that nobody wants to probably listen to. Um, I think this is good for people who are struggling, who do their own thing, or even at a job that you hate. I mean, I've pretty much hated every job I've ever had. I've never felt good about
They
any
all
job.
suck, you know.
Yeah. But you know what? I've also realized now, since I'm on the other side of it, that I do wish I had a job. Like I was telling you earlier, I wish I had a job where I could just go in, feel good about what I'm doing, not be put
Mhm.
under a lot of stress or expectations, not deal with a bunch of crap, not deal with people trying to step all over me or push stuff down on me, but just go do a job. Like maybe be a teacher or something, right? Like go into, have your classroom, do your stuff, teach some kids that want to learn maybe. And then you leave and you get your paycheck and you can get a man, you could do almost any job and make way more than you make doing game dev.
Yeah, I
I think the
know.
problem
I mean,
comes
that's the like kind of what I was saying earlier. Like that's the part that is hard for me, and maybe it's because I'm old and I don't have all this potential anymore. Is like they all should be like that. Every job should be. You just should go in, do good work, and like you just like everybody's there to do good work, and then you go home. But it's never like that. It should be because nobody acts like human beings. Nobody acts like people anymore when they get to work. And you turn something that should be simple into something that's really complicated and really stressful and gives everybody anxiety. And for what? For no reason
for more
whatsoever.
money and more power, and I don't even
Like
know, man.
it should be simple. It
And I
really
and I
should
and
be.
I watched this guy Gary's Economics. I actually bought his book and I want to read it, but he talks about how the game is rigged, and I've told you about this where if he had people ask him, how do you get rich? And he's like, you get rich by having a rich dad. And that's
Wouldn't that be great?
and it sounds at first it's like, oh, he's making a joke, but it's really not, because if you don't have rich parents, if you don't come from wealth, you are stuck. You have to basically win the lotto to make it out. How do you do that? Maybe you get famous, become a celebrity, become an athlete, get this great business opportunity that nobody ever had, or you have some connections. At the end of the day, 99% of people who don't have rich parents are stuck with a thumb pushed down on them, and they're like, you're never going to get anywhere. Even jobs I've had, that last job I had was the worst. There was this like good old boys management staff and above, and if you weren't part of that group, you were basically treated like trash. And they didn't care. They churned you out. Like they didn't care. They didn't want you there to make a difference and to help. They wanted you to there just do their dirty work and just shut up and just, put your head down and just check a box. And the only way that you could probably make it into that group is if you literally kiss their ass and you play the
Yeah.
politics. And that's what people have to do. People have to go to work and be like, hey, how are you doing? Right. And Mateo, what's up, Mateo? My son's friends watch my YouTube channel, so they're probably
Oh, do they?
they're probably looking at this
that's
and being
not a
like,
good
oh
idea.
my god, that's not good. That's not good. So anybody who's watching my channel, who's my son's friends,
They don't need to be hearing
don't
this.
be here. This is old man talk. We're talking old man talk, but
Old man talk.
it's not easy,
This is
man.
what happens when you get old and have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, it's like, why? I don't know. Whatever. They all call me King Havo. They all know who I am.
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, whatever. It's just going to a regular job's tough. And then I think about making starting a business and doing stuff like that. And it's just, that's another whole thing. Where like, where do you even start? How do you start that? And Izzy Dean. He's
Yeah,
John
I'm gonna go
Robinson.
grab me a pretend beer quick.
Yeah, go. You guys like watching me? You guys are crazy, Enzo. Why do you guys should all be in school, number one. And number two, this video's real. This video's old man real talk about money, about making it in this world, and you guys are all here. But we're gonna talk about football.
Oh yeah, we were gonna talk about football today.
We are gonna talk about football. Hold on a second. It's so hot in my room right now. I think I lost my camera. Oh no, I got it. Anyways, but what's up, guys? I know Christian hangs out with all you guys, and you guys are all cool. Seem like cool guys. Glad to hear from the best. Okay. I don't know. Why do you guys even watch my channel? That's what I want to know. I'm curious about that. Because I got my wife telling me, she goes, just move on. Just move on. Yeah, if I move on, I'm going to leave.
Critic. Although she's probably right.
You love my vids.
She's smart. She knows. She gets it.
One thing that's cool that I think is cool, even though Christian doesn't think it's cool with my son, is that I make games and I love football, right? And I love football games, right? And Christian's probably embarrassed right now. I love football games but my son doesn't like. I guess it's because it's my kid, right? Like kids don't want to like support their parents. Typically, they're like, they're like,
no.
What my dad's doing, I'm going to do the complete opposite, right? So, I know he kind of secretly likes what I do, but at the same time, I'm always like, dude, give me a good game. He's like, all right, make this huge like first person shooter multiplayer. Like he wants AAA, and I'm like, no, I'm like, you need to give me some ideas that I can actually do with my bare hands and not, and not some AAA game. And like even all you guys, like if you guys ever have the guys that are watching that are at my son's school, like if you guys ever have any ideas, making indie games is a whole different market. Like you guys are used to AAA graphics and online multiplayer, and that's just something that's so hard to pull off when you're just one guy,
Yeah, I finally got Riley. Riley is really into me being a game developer. My kids like it too when I actually am developing games. And I finally got Riley to the point where she understands what I'm capable of and where like, an indie solo developer can do versus a AAA or like a team of 10, whatever they call indies with 10 people and a budget of $5 million. She knows the difference now. So now, like when she has all these ideas, like, hey, you should make a game that does this, it's actually something I can do. So like we were talking, I was thinking of like, all right, what kind of games could I make that would even have a chance at making money? She's had a couple of pretty good ideas and I'm like, hey, I actually could do that. So yeah, it's funny when your kids have all these suggestions and you're like, God, I wish. But yeah, Riley's finally to that. She understands it enough now where it's like, yeah, I think I could make that game.
I always tell them like, dude, why don't you try to learn coding? And I don't know if they're teaching, they should be teaching coding at your school, guys. Maybe I would teach there one day. I could be the game dev teacher, but yeah, like, listen, it's a whole other thing. Like going to school, the whole system is like, go to school, get good grades, go to a good college, get a good job. And then you're at these jobs for all these years. And I know for me, it's like, there's gotta be more to life than this. There's got to be more to life than just going to this job and making money. And then that's why I broke away. But for all these kids, like I'm sure they're like, oh, it's cool to make games, and it is cool. It is cool. Fun. It is cool. But
like being broke.
Well, but the problem is the world doesn't stop, right? The world doesn't stop.
Yeah, the world keeps going.
Trying to get your dollars, and if you're making games, first of all, making games alone, it burns you out. Like big time, especially when you're doing it by yourself. And I know for me, I am burnt out from it all, but I'm also, I also know that if I made, crazy amounts of money, I may feel better. I don't know, because money doesn't motivate me. That's where it's hard to really even tell, but I think that game dev is one of those things that you have to kind of experience on your own. And if you love it that badly, then great, man.
And honestly, like the videos of all these game devs, they're all fake. You can't believe any of that stuff. If you see game developers talking about here's what it's like to be a game developer, and they push a video out every week, and every week it's all produced and everything, it's not real. Like
no,
it's
It's not. This is
being a
real. This
developer
video here is
is
real for anybody who
hard.
wants to know
It's
about
not
real life.
glamorous. It's not polished.
Mm-mm.
It's stress all the time. It's always second guessing yourself. Is my idea good? Am I just throwing time in the toilet? Like these guys, like Thomas Brush and
Oh, it's the worst.
all those guys like Bite Me Games and all. That's not real. That's not what it is.
Well, but what's real about those guys is they're trying to make money, and that's
But yeah,
that's the real world that we live in.
YouTuber is real,
Right?
But that's not what it's like to be a game developer.
Right. Yeah. But that's what's sad is that the real world is about money. So if you want to be, and I know being real is about not worrying about, and that's the thing that's hard to get past. This is where, I give, now that my son's friends are here and anybody who's listening that's over there, even if he's listening, I still believe that the best way to go about life, if you can afford it, is to find something that you love that you can turn into some kind of money making thing, something. And if that means live with your parents for a longer time or, live below your means and, not have the best stuff and wait for the nice car, wait for the nice house, wait for the nice vacations, and put that time and energy into something that you absolutely love to do, that's so much better than being part of the regular system of like, oh, I'm going to get a job. I'm going to go be a lawyer, even though I don't want to be a lawyer. And I'm going to go try to make money. And then, you fast forward and you're 50 years old and you're like, what did I do with my life? But then if you followed your passion and you didn't make it financially, right? Then you may also look back and say to yourself, maybe I should have gone the other route. So it is hard, but I know that, listen, all we have is so much time. Do something great that you love. Okay. And hopefully it works out. But, at the end of the day, like everybody has so much time and learning is a good thing. It's good to have fun, but it's also good to learn. And if you could do both, if you can make money and have fun at the same time, that's probably the best kind of way to put it. And for me, I love to learn. So, and I like to do like challenging things. So that's where game dev comes in, and making football games is hard work. And, I hope that we have more football games, and we could also talk about the news that we heard yesterday, now that we're kind of going back into football, because unless you have anything else you want to say before we jump in there.
No, I think that's enough trauma dump. I think we're good.
Yeah. So anyways, all right. So Google Meet 2 is my thing. Let's see. Google. All right. So the news. Last night I was just scrolling and I was like looking around and I'm like, wait a second. EA Sports, NFL, another deal, man. Another what? Till 2030 is what I think it went to. And now they're going to be using the NFL license again. They renew their contract, and I think it's till 2030 is what it had said on here, right? But it's crazy, man. And it's like in 2025, EA, it says, posted a net revenue of approximately $7.5 billion. I mean, this is AAA. This is something that we obviously can't compete with as indie game devs, right? And football devs especially. And the fact that they're going to continue this as long as they can because the NFL's happy with their situation with EA, and the NFL's not trying to make the best product per se. They're just trying to make money, and that goes back to what we were talking about. It's like making money is king. And
yeah, I've totally changed my opinion on this exclusive license thing. I used to think that the NFL at some point would say, you know what, I think we'd be better served by opening it up and letting at least another AAA developer get the license to increase like our brand awareness, like our potential for revenue and all that stuff. I used to think that. I don't believe that anymore. I think the only way this stops now is if EA just flat out says, we're not going to renew it with the NFL. Like EA is going to have to make the choice, decide it's not worth the money anymore. I think that's the only way this ever stops now.
The stream's like lagging right now, so just FYI. I don't know. We're dropping frames.
I think it's because the man is like
maybe
trying to
I didn't pay my electric bill, my cable bill.
Trying to be silenced. It's big EA, big football's out to stop us.
Well, the thing that sucks about it, I mean, I know that for some reason, I mean, I've given up hope, and that sucks.
Oh yeah, me too.
That sucks to feel that way, because giving up hope means you have to face the reality of the football landscape, right? And I don't even have anything to look forward to anymore. Yeah. You know, and every time I go on Steam, I'm always looking for potential like new upcoming football games, just to see if there's anybody out there doing something different, you know, and something that I could actually enjoy playing. And there's just nothing out there. And I think that another 5 years of this, this license exclusivity is terrible. It's just terrible for football gamers. And what sucks about this the most is that there has been plenty of time that's gone by where the license has been locked up. And during that time, you would think that every year that goes by, you would have a growing number of people that are so sick and tired of it, to the point where they don't even buy it anymore, which I don't. I mean, I'll buy it for my son, but I don't play it. I don't buy it. There should be people that are buying it less and less every year. There should be. And there also should be more competition that can actually, you know, give those people some satisfaction and some alternative to football, right? And I think that, you know, you and I have been trying to do that. Other people have tried to do that. Madden clones are never going to work, just because there's no chance, in my opinion. I mean, there's also AA, AAA. You know, there's the Max Football. That's not doing anything right now, as far as I can tell. There's Wild Card Football that you thought maybe Wild Card could have had a shot because they had the NFLPA license, which is
Wild Card couldn't make it. Right, they had real NFL players. They had the budget. They had like Chris Berman, and it flopped so hard they took it off of Steam. So like, if a company like Wild Card can't do it, I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. We just all have to accept it.
People talking about the Falcons. The Falcons played well. They played well. They beat us up. We're not looking that great, but we need to turn it around, Izzy. I mean, I don't know, man. The Bills are we're having a hard time trying to find our identity, but we have some guys coming back off of injury, and we better do something, or I'm not going to be happy this year. I'm already not happy with the Bills. But that's what people want.
Joey D, I'm looking at the chat now too. Joey D hit the nail on the head. I mean, we're at a point now, by 2030, it's going to be 25 years since anybody else had the NFL license. That means that's like 2 generations of gamers who have grown up with no other options than Madden. And they at least 2 generations of gamers now who don't know what could be. And so they're going to be perfectly happy with just buying Madden everywhere. They don't know what it was like to have 5 different football games to choose from. So why would it ever change? Because nobody's going to push for change, because nobody knows what it could be. So like, this is it. Like, I hate to say it, this is what football gaming is going to be forever. Sorry.
Well, that sucks, you know, and that's where, you know, I wish I still, maybe that's where, like, my next stepping stone would be, because we've been struggling to figure out what to do next. And I just wish there was a way that we had the investment to make something great, like something that can actually compete. I just know that's not going to happen. I know no one's going to want to invest.
I mean, there's 2 companies out there with significant investment in making non-NFL football games right now. Like it's Max Football, who's backed by I can't Maximum Games or something like that. They're a pretty legit game company, so like they have millions of dollars. And then there's the Varsity Football that's backed by the two guys from the original Max Football team, and they're both fairly well off. So like that one's backed pretty well. But like nobody ever talks about them, right? Nobody ever talks about those games because it's the same thing. It's a football game that's been released that can't use real teams. Who's gonna buy it when you can just buy Madden, right? And if nobody's gonna buy the game, nobody's gonna invest the $100 million that it would take to compete with Madden because that's a stupid investment.
But there's got to be a way.
Be.
I mean, I know what you're saying, but there has to be like even like Super Mega Baseball or even like Sunday Rivals, right? Like the guy from Sunday Rivals, he was talking to me about. He's like, hey, let's collaborate, which I'm sure he's talked to you. He's like, let's make a game. You know, I know that he's trying to figure out what to do next with his football, you know, franchise. But you know, if I had the ability to freaking be part of a team or, you know, I would hire talented people, obviously, because you need them to make a football game. But if there was a way, I know you can do it. And I think that it would actually take on Madden. I think it would, but you have to have people that are willing to lose millions and millions of dollars to get there.
That's the trick,
you know?
Yeah.
But if you had online, if you had
people that are willing to lose $100 million.
If you had a AAA game, who cares about the license? If you could make rosters, even if you could share them online, which, you know, if you try to, this is the biggest problem. This is the crappy part about it, is that even if a company came out with an awesome game, a Madden killer, Madden's going to do everything with all of their lawyers and firepower to shut you down. They're going to either they could even buy your franchise and just give you, you know, a reason to not say no, right? That's like the nicest thing that they would do. What they would also do is they would not allow you to share rosters online because you could never do that before in games. They'd probably say, no, you can't have NFL rosters floating around, right? So they wouldn't allow that. So they'd shut that down. And they would try their best. They may even talk to the console makers and say, hey guys, if you guys, you know, allow that game. I mean, if you made a really, really good game, it wouldn't last. I mean, look at what ESPN lasted the final time that they made, because they made it for so many years, because it used to be the 2K football game back on Sega Dreamcast, and it turned into 2K2, 2K3, 2K4, 2K5, whatever. That game, okay, the final one was the one that actually stepped up and actually got enough visibility for people to say, okay, this is a true Madden competitor. The minute they stepped up, what'd they do? They locked the license down. So however, whatever it would take for Madden to shut you down, they're going to do it legally.
Oh, it's absolutely. And there's precedent right now. There are two other things that are going through the same thing. One is Games Workshop, who owns the Warhammer IP, are running around suing individual people for making off-brand Warhammer-like products. So like there's a guy out there who makes like custom helmets for like the Warhammer factions. And he like, you know, he either sells them on his channel or something like that. Like they'll go out and start suing individual people for making things that are like Warhammer stuff and getting them shut down. Right. The Pokemon thing, Nintendo, like, remember Pal Worlds, how they made a cool game that was not Pokemon, but it was similar to Pokemon and got crazy sued. Now, I think that's still going on, and they're fighting it in some way. But again, you're talking like they're actively trying to shut them down. It's like, you think the NFL wouldn't do that? Or EA wouldn't do
it's
that?
You have
if
two.
you had a game that was getting close to goods, they would jump on you like you wouldn't believe.
Right. You have two mega, like super crazy, like conglomerate companies that would go after you.
Oh my God.
I mean, and I'm just reading the article here, and they're saying that, you know, Madden has more than 2 billion games of Madden sold each year, more than 2 billion games, bro.
There's no way they're giving that up.
And I mean, I've thought sometimes I could put the NFL on my game and they probably wouldn't even care. My game is so small. I'm serious. Why would they care? Why would they care? Unless you're
They don't care until they care.
Right. They won't care.
The
They won't care. Like I was thinking this morning, like, if I made another game, I would just put every single player on there, every single likeness on there, and just change their names. And, and I used to not want to do that. And I didn't do that because I didn't want any problems, but they don't care. We're so small. They can make what I've made in one single millisecond with a MUT card. And so like, they don't care, but this is the sad thing is I do get inspired by making a great game for people to have a great experience. And I would be super, super excited and interested in making something that could beat Madden, and it's not for the money per se. I mean, it would be great to be, that wealthy, but it would be to finally give people an opportunity to play a good football game, me included. And that's where my passion would come in. But when you start to really like lay it all out and you say to yourself, well, wait a second, even if you did find a way to do that, they're going to shut you down. And that sucks. Yeah. That's just,
and even if you made the football game and did nothing like the NFL, so if you did everything you could to avoid the lawsuits, you're still talking about getting a group of people together who are willing to throw $100 million worth of development costs in the toilet for a game that won't sell.
Right.
Like, I mean, that's what you're asking for, and it's just not going to happen.
And that's a shame. And that's a shame because there's obviously, this is going to be locked down forever, as you can see.
Yeah.
Every time it comes up, they keep renewing it. And there has to be some way to break this cycle. There just has to be.
There won't be. No. There just won't be. Unless the gamers demand it, unless they stop buying it, which they won't. Because like I said, there's 2 generations of football gamers who have been brought up that this is how it's supposed to be. Why would they stop? They'll never stop because this is the right way of doing football games.
What's crazy is that Maximum Football, if you think about it, Maximum Football is a legitimate multi-million-dollar investment that they're probably doing for that game, right? And look what they've gotten.
Everybody shits on it.
Well, the game's not good. But the game's not good.
The game is good. It's not Madden good. It's not 2K good, but it's a legit game.
If you're a game dev looking at it, this is my opinion. As a game dev, I'm pretty, impressed by what they're able to do. But is the game actually good that I want to play? No, it's not.
No, I'm not playing it either.
No, we're not. We won't play it. So I'm talking about a really good game, which, again, to make a really look, Madden's making billions of dollars every year. If you're selling 2 billion copies, okay, times that by what their cut is for selling the game, and then all the MUT, all the online stuff that the microtransactions that you get, right? How much money are they making per year on this game? And they still can't make a great game.
Oh, I know. I mean, that's the other thing too, is just like football. I was just kind of going off on this today too, on our Discord. Football itself is a really complicated game, like let alone game dev wise, right? The game of football itself is so complicated. Like, think of the rule book on football, how stupid some of the rules are, just because the game of football itself is so complicated and so exploitable that, like, I mean, we're talking about the tush push now, right? We got this dumbass kickoff rule now. Like, there's all these stupid, the rules about who can be on the line of scrimmage and who can't. Like, all of these rules in the rule book of football are there because the game of football itself is so exploitable and so complicated. Now imagine trying to turn that into a video game that people think is good. Like, everybody says, yeah, Maximum Football is trash. Axis Football is trash. Like, football's a hard ass sport.
Well,
right?
Well, the secret of the animations,
hard.
The secret of the animations and the collisions that you have, right? And what you do with those collisions.
So hard.
And that's what makes it so hard, because there's no other sport does it. Soccer won't do collisions like that. Baseball, basketball, hockey, none of them have collisions that are it's like basically you have a wrestling game with like 22 players in the field at once, and they're
Well, not
all
only that,
having
it's
to.
like a wrestling game where like there are 10 different groups of wrestlers all wrestling by different sets of rules.
Right, and they all have to also have a strategy to them and have different roles to
Yeah.
them, and and those roles need to make sense. And why did and they also have to have mistakes. Like, why did this guy not have a great tackle pursuit angle? Like, things that happen in real life, and it's very hard to simulate that. I thought the best possible chance that we had was the backbreaker game. I saw that when it first started. I'm like, wow, this is next generation. And then it turned out to just be ragdoll physics with very, very, very lightweight, logic behind it. But you know what? I also feel like Madden shut those guys down. I don't feel like they got shut down on their own. I feel like they were pressured and threatened by
That's
Madden, and they
possible.
said, you
Yeah.
know
I
what,
mean,
you
who
guys can't
knows?
make this game anymore, and they probably just went away, or they bought their IP. I don't know, but that game
Yeah.
had some potential. But there's so much that could be done by now with football, and I think that
What could have
everybody
been done. Yeah.
could have been.
That's the thing though. Like I said, right? It could have been. Things could be great. They could have been great. But now we've got 25 years of it just being like this. And like because football's so complicated and it's so hard to get right. And like I said, there's these multi-million-dollar games out there that everybody says are trash. So the bar is not at the multi-million-dollar level. The bar is at the multi-hundred-million-dollar level. Who's going to throw that kind of money in the toilet when you can't make an NFL licensed game?
I know, and I mean, like,
There's just no hope anymore.
Clap here. He's saying that simple animations and complex movements, that's the key. I don't think so, Clap.
No way.
That's actually
No
not the
way.
key. Maybe it's a key for a 2D game, but not a 3D game. You need animations are everything.
The comments, like the Steam reviews, would roast your game if the animations suck.
Yeah. Like games like Retro Bowl can get away with trash animations because the
Well, that's
game's a
just poop
2D game
football,
and
though.
it's poop football. People love it. People love poop football.
People love playing things on the toilet, right?
And this is if there's anything that sparks my level of like happiness and energy at my energy levels is when we talk about football. And that's
I know.
that's the thing that takes me from being in a rut to making me feel better, because I know that there's something there, bro. Like, there's something there that
Well, football's the perfect sport. That's why it's so exciting.
It's the best. It's the best.
It's the perfect sport.
And when you put on Madden, I don't know about the younger kids that are here, but if you put on Madden, there's nothing. Maybe they just don't know enough, and they're so sold on graphics and then license and everything. But man, like the guys like us who experienced all of the games of the past, the NFL Street, right, which that was made by EA, and that was a cool game for its time, right? And there's a Tecmo Bowls of the world, right, that just had that. They were like the first football game that really started to, make people like have a lot of fun with football,
Yeah.
but there's something there, whether it be like a Simcade game. But it's that rabbit hole of football games are hard to make, and they take years and years and years and years of talented people to make something decent. And I strongly believe that if you're going to set out to make a Madden clone, then you're probably going to fail, because you don't have billions of dollars and you haven't been doing this for 4 decades, and you don't have the NFL license on top of it, and it's just like a lose across the board situation. But it's just sad, bro. It's just sad.
I know.
I don't know.
I used to really
I'll be right back. Hold on. You could talk, but I'll be back.
Yeah. I know more for the peanut gallery than for Havo. The thing I used to love about the back in the day was like it seemed like every little football game was able to have the real NFL teams. So like you could pop in a game, low budget game, and you could still have fun because like your team was still there. I don't know. I think that was the fun part. And it made it so like you could see small developers making more interesting games because they knew people would try it, because right, if you like the Bills and a new game comes out that has the Bills in it, you're going to give it a chance. Like right now, that same new game comes out, but instead of the Bills, you have like I don't know, the anglerfish. You're going to be like, whatever, I'm not playing that game. So I don't know. That's the part that sucks for me. So exclusive license. Sorry. I think there's no hope there. I wonder what Havo's doing right now. I feel like this is a good time for me to trauma dump. Anyway, we sort of
It's the Shawn solo stream.
It's the solo stream.
Listen, when you get old, you got to go to the bathroom. That's how it goes.
Oh my God, I hear you. Don't say that. Now I'm gonna have to go. Damn you.
That's all right.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right. Well, I'm gonna continue to talk about football because football is the spot where is this working again? Let me just double check. Okay, everything's back on. Football it's my thing, man. It's my thing. And one thing that I've been thinking about, because you have to understand that, like, to go off and to set off to make a football game is it takes a long time, right? It takes a long time, a lot of effort. I spent a long time making a football game, and to do that again, it's just hard. It's hard work. And I know it takes many years almost to do something. And it's just hard. Like I've been thinking as a solo dev, I've been thinking about trying to make smaller, games that are just fun. I know that a lot of people who watch my channel, they love football too. And football games are great, man, but they're too hard and too complex to make something decent. They just are. And any of you guys in here who've ever even tried or wanted to think about making a football game, most people just give up because it's too much work, and it's too complicated to do it. But Shawn and I, like, we love football. We love football games, and we've been burnt by the process. We've been burnt by the financial side to it. And Shawn, you could still hear me, right? You're back?
I can still hear you. I'm just looking at I'm back. Oh my God. No, never mind. It's just a big lag.
You're back. There's a lag to it.
No worries.
But now that we're on that football topic, I always, this is the problem that we have. It's like we've been talking about making smaller games, because here's the thing. At the end of the day, we're single solo developers. The fact that I set out to make Legend Bowl, and it took me a long time, for many reasons, but it's a pretty full, decent quality football game. And that takes just a long time to do. And it's one of those things where, Shawn has spent many years, on and off, some full-time, some part-time, working on his football games. And, the problem that he and I have is we're just one person, and being one person with limited resources, you can only do so much. Shoot, being a AA studio with a lot of money behind you, they can only, they can do so much as well. So it's one of those things where making a football game just doesn't make any sense for us when you really think about what you're able to do with, with your resources and your skill sets. And it sucks because I threw all that logic out of the window. I said, you know what? I'm going to make this, I'm going to make the best one I can make. Even if it's the worst football game ever, I'm going to set out to make it. And I found a way through the help from people, through, my artist, through, all the hard work that I had to put in on top of it to finally get something that felt like a football game. But, the reality of the situation is it's smarter to not think about football anymore, because it just doesn't really line up with what we can do. And that sucks, that sucks. And I'm not the kind of person who's going to go out and try to find investors. To even find somebody who would do it, they would have to be crazy.
You'd have to find somebody who's not investing, but giving you money. Because as an investment, it's a terrible idea. Like there will
or they're
be
just
no
writing
payback.
off money. Like they have to literally lose money.
Yeah, there's no upside to it. So like, I
or
mean,
government
well,
funding because they just print money. So maybe
yeah,
that.
I mean, but like that, you're hitting it right on the head, right? The problem is what's the upside, right? If you make a game that's in some other genre, the upside is potentially you could hit it big, like some of these indies always do. Every year, there's like a handful of indies that like they release a game that they made in their basement or whatever, and it makes them $1 million, makes them $10 million or whatever. The upside for football is not that, right? We know what the upside of football is. The upside of football is what Legend Bowl made. Because Legend Bowl is the best selling football game outside of EA in the last 20 years. That's the upside. And like, Havo, like you've said, right? That upside is not enough to make you comfortable for the rest of your life or like to make you even comfortable for the next couple of years. It's that's the sad truth about football right now. And I think the license has a lot to do with it. And I think what's the license has done to the genre is more of an issue. But it's like you and Havo and I have both kind of come. Part of the reason we're having our nervous breakdown is because we both sort of come to the realization like the upside of making a football game, no matter how good it is, just kind of isn't there anymore. Like it's just not there. It's sad because we love football. Like we are football fiends. Like I wouldn't be making football games for 20 years if I didn't love it so much.
Right.
Havo wouldn't have made Legend Bowl and grinded his ass off for a decade if he didn't love it so much. But like at some point you got to be smart and you just like it's the payoff's just not there.
Well, like I was saying before, the reality of it, if you really just step in from a business perspective, anybody would say, dude, you're one person. How could you even think for a second that you're going to make anything that's, I mean, what Sunday Rivals did, what that guy Ryan does is amazing to me. As one person, he was able to build that game. Now I know a lot of it has to do with lighting and the graphics, and he's really good at that stuff. Because the gameplay, the gameplay needs a lot of work, and that's where, and that's where it's hard because 3D to me becomes problematic because you start to see all the flaws in your animations but I always feel like making a 2D football game, like I'll look it up here. Making a 2D football game, where is it? There's a concept that I've pulled up before. It's like, it's basically Mario football.
Oh yeah.
You've seen that before, right?
Yeah.
And that, and that to me, it's this here. So like that whole thing.
You're putting it on the screen?
Yeah, I got it on the screen.
Okay.
This entire, concept it looks amazing, but even if this game was a real thing, I mean, the grass looks, I mean, I like grass.
Oh man, here we go with the grass.
Look how beautiful, look how beautiful the grass is. I love the grass.
You love some grass, that's for sure.
I do. I mean, even if this game was a real thing, this is going to be arcadey.
It has to be.
And the animations aren't, but the animations can't be that great because it's a little too, it's like a little cute football game, and these are, basically like creatures and like fantasy players, and you're not going to need to see these, one-handed behind the back catches or these like sideline like acrobatic catches. This game would be fun though. I mean, it would be fun,
but who's the market for that game? It's not football sim guys. It's not older football people. It's literally just kids. And how many kids like football?
I mean,
like it's a niche of a niche of a niche.
I mean, if you made a super mega baseball in football, like that's where I'm still confused, because like wild card football had all the looks, had everything that you needed to make
parkour
a 3D, and it actually had the license in there, like the PA license, right? So, but that game didn't play well at all. Like there was something wrong with that game, and I don't I and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it played well enough, but when I played it, I mean, I bought it and I played it and I hated it. Like it was so like there was no soul to it, no depth to it, no challenge to it, and it was weird with the card system that they had. I mean, I hated that game. The game felt like empty. It felt like a shell of what it could have been. And I think that a game like that does have potential. I just don't I don't think this is I could be wrong, but I just don't think anybody has done enough to say there's been a legitimate football competitor, or not even competitor, option. I think, I mean, I'm not
Well, I
sure.
mean, you make a good point, but how many football games have tried? I mean, it's at least a dozen, right? Maybe
Yeah.
more of like indie version football games. And everybody always says the same thing about every one of them, that they don't play well, or the animations aren't good enough, or the game control isn't good enough. Everybody's trying, every one of those games is trying their ass off though. So the fact that like every single game besides Madden fails, I I think that tells you something. I think it tells you that what people are not going to accept anything that's not exactly like Madden,
But they don't
or
have
that the
they don't have
bar
enough.
has to be perfect or it's trash. Because every game can't be trash unless the bar is so high that nobody can meet it.
You're right. I mean, you're not wrong. It's just their runway needs to be longer. I mean, it sucks. It sucks because you would think that they did spend enough money and they have done enough, and I agree, but they haven't done enough. Wildcard football didn't do enough. The game was
Yeah.
just not good enough. Like, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the ship has sailed and people want the best of the best of the best, or they don't, or they're not even going to touch it because. But I don't know. I mean, I tried wild card football and just I don't know. To me, it was horrible. Like everything about it was really bad. I mean, the graphics look good. The way you can be the real players was cool, but it just didn't. I don't know. It just didn't fill that fun factor for me, and it definitely didn't have any depth. You know.
No.
I mean, but I do feel that there's a huge amount of people who love football, right? Football enthusiasts that they do not have a football game to play, right? And the ones that are
Well,
playing,
I mean, the
maybe they're
numbers
playing.
show that they do. We just don't like the answer.
I know. I mean, they're playing Madden. I get it, but
Yeah.
but
And they're just fine with it. They don't want something else. They're just fine with it.
I don't know about that though.
I think the dollars say that they are.
I think the competition says that they
I think
are.
if Madden was up here one year and then down here another year and then down here another year and then they do something big and it goes back, that would be different. But it's not like that. It's up here this year. It's up here the next year. It's up here the next year. It's up here the next year. I think that tells you that they love it. They wouldn't keep buying it every single year if they didn't love it.
Yeah, but you tell me what game has come out ever since they took the license that was
Yeah.
worthy of people not buying Madden.
Well, none, because nobody'd be stupid enough to spend $100 million making a game without the license.
Well, that's
It's never going to change.
But you have said that it would only take, like, how much money would it take to make a good game? I mean,
Yeah, we went through this exercise once where it's like, what would it take to make a game like 2K?
we're back at this
no, it's
again.
good to catch people up on this, right? Because we
I'm
talk
just saying
about this every once in a
we
while.
go we go in these circles where it's
I know,
like football dev job,
but not everybody
meme
remembers
games.
them all, right?
No, and I'm not saying that we're not going to talk about it. Or we should. I'm just saying I just laugh because football to me it always sucks me right back in, and we're back to talking how are we going to make a good football game again. again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we did this exercise one time to figure out like what would it take to make a game that played like 2K, no license, no online, no mutt. What was the other one? I think that was it. So it basically played like 2K football, but didn't have all the bells and whistles of Madden. And even the most bare bones version of that plan was something like $15 to $20 million. And that was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. We talked about this. So like a bare bones game that focused only on gameplay, just on field gameplay, nothing else. You're still talking tens of millions of dollars.
And that's still not even going to be enough because nobody wants
That's
just
probably not.
That's
It's
what that's
probably
what
not going to be enough.
that's what all
So
pro
like,
football
I'm not
was.
kidding when I say $100 million is the barrier to entry, and that $100 million has to be set on fire and thrown away. Like you're never going to recoup it.
That to me, that just seemed, I mean, I don't know.
Nobody's going to do that.
I don't know what the number would be. I think it would probably take 3 years and probably a good 20 person team, whatever. And you're talking what, at least $100K a piece for each person. That's two
minimum.
million. Yeah.
If you can get the bare bottom of every single function.
Right. That's $2 million a year for 3 years. You're at $6 million.
Salaries.
Just for salaries.
So add another $2 million for everything else that it costs to have those people.
You could probably do it for like 30 million.
So we'll say 3 million. Yeah. $3 million just in headcount.
No, 30 million total.
Oh, 30?
If you had 30,
I think you could do a bare bones game for 30 million.
If you had $30 million and you didn't have to worry about all the overhead that most companies have to worry about.
No marketing. That doesn't include a marketing budget.
I mean, it has to for 30 mil.
Yeah, you ain't getting a good marketing budget for $30 million.
It's just, I don't understand. But I mean, we're at a point with the news that we heard last night. We're at a point right now where there is zero chance we get a real competitor. There's 0% chance because nobody's going to take that risk. No one's going to take that risk. And the only thing that we could probably hope for is a Legend Bowl, is a Retro Bowl for people who want to play that kind of game, is I don't even know, like a wild card football type game. But no one, I mean, there's the varsity game. They're trying to make a game.
Yeah. It could be, I think it could be a fun game. I also think it's not going to make any money.
It's probably not.
No.
Because they're going too sim and too realistic, and it's just not going to be good enough.
There's going to be no reason to buy it. Yeah.
Right.
And you can just buy Madden.
Right. And that's the problem too. Like when ESPN was out back then, that was the last financially successful football game because they had the license. And maybe that's what it is. Because there was a point where all we thought was, okay, if you don't have the license, then there's no chance. But then over time, I feel like I've gotten, or at some parts of I think maybe I always felt this way. I always felt like, because I'm a modder and I love football and I'm a different customer, that I didn't care about the license. Didn't mean everything to me. Did I like it? Yeah. Do we want to see the NFL? Yeah. Do we want to hear the music? Yes. Do we want to see the players and the teams and the logos, which is the big thing? Yeah. I do want to play with my team. But at the same time, if it's nothing, or I mean, basically Madden or a game that has no license, that's really good. And that's the problem. And that's where I feel like, that's where I know we've gotten the all pro football, which was a really, really, it is the best, in my opinion, football game that was ever made on the field. It's the best one, in my opinion. And I think you agree with that too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day, it just didn't have enough. It just didn't have enough in it to keep people, around. So this is what like Shawn and I struggle with, because any therapist would come in and say, hey, all right, guys, you've been doing this for way too long. You both have tried. You both have basically run into walls. Other people have tried.
Why do you keep running into the same wall?
Why do you keep coming back? Forget about your trip. It's like one of the other game devs who would love to make a huge open world MMO game, right?
Yeah.
It's like they are smart enough to know that they cannot do it. Like they literally can't compete. They can't make it. They don't have the skills, the resources, the timeline, whatever. They don't even get stuck like we get stuck. It's very simple for them. And we sit here and we're sitting here literally talking about finding a way to compete with a freaking AAA football.
How stupid is that we do this like every year? Every year it's like, how do we compete with EA and the NFL? What?
I think we're just we're obviously
what are we doing?
we're obviously lost. We're
Like
lost.
literally, that's what we do, Havo.
I
We're
know.
like, how do you and I compete with EA and the NFL?
Yeah. Well,
It sounds so dumb when I say it
I
like
think it's
that.
because there are so many open world MMO games, and
Yeah.
and they don't have just one that took the license that has no other, you know, that has other games that had potential but did, like, we're in a very, you know, specific situation where we know that there's a hole there, a major hole with football, and we just don't know how to fill it.
Yeah.
We don't know how we can fill it. We know, I know how it can be filled. I just don't know how to do it myself,
Yeah.
you know, and that's where, you know, and when I say I know, I'm not saying I know how to build it. I'm just saying I know that I feel like a game like All Pro
Like there's a
Football.
possibility that it could be filled.
Yeah.
I think we both agree there is it could happen. It would just take somebody willing to set hundreds of millions of dollars on fire.
Pretty
But
much.
it could happen. It
Yeah.
could be done.
Yeah. And I think that there are also a lot of people out there that even football game developers that work for EA, right? Even the maximum football developer, there, even the varsity, there are people out there that want so badly for something better that they can enjoy, because there's not a good, it's like this trash, to me, this trash game. I think it's trash. That's just me. And I know I'm probably over exaggerating, I know, but it's a game that's not good. It's not good. And it continues to dominate the market every year, and we're stuck with it. And you know, and it's just sad. It's sad. And I just wish there was something that we could do. But you know, at this point, like, the dollars, like you say, the dollars speak, you know, volumes, and people are
It's
buying
sad
Madden.
because
People
yeah.
people are not, they're not disciplined or united enough to say we're just not going to buy Madden this year. And people have
Or
tried to
like
do that.
let's we should be honest with ourselves too. Like we shouldn't be so like I don't want to be so arrogant to say that I know that all these customers hate Madden. Like they also could love it. Like there's a reason the game makes $1 billion every year, and it's not because everybody hates it.
But if you look at
Like
the reviews,
there is a
go look at the
chance that most of
reviews.
these people love Madden, and this group of people that is dissatisfied could be just a small group.
But then why are the reviews trash? Why? Because
I don't.
they
I
just
think
come,
reviews are nonsense, anyways.
well, because
Like people
they
review
probably
for
just
all kinds of
complain
reasons.
for no reason, right? They probably just complain.
People just review nowadays. Now that you can vote up and down reviews, people write reviews just to get attention now.
But the game on Steam has a 44% review rating with only 1,500 reviews, right? Let's just look
is
at
it
that.
really?
Yeah, it's terrible. 44% are positive, and there's only 1,500 of them, right?
Yeah.
So let's look
Somehow
at,
Madden still makes $1 billion every year.
yeah, well, that's a bunch of bullshit. That's what it is. Let's see. Madden 26, Xbox. They only have, look at that. They only have a little over 2 stars and 2,300 reviews.
Yeah.
So what's going on? So this is where
People who like the game aren't reviewing it.
that doesn't make any
Right?
sense.
I mean, how often do you see people?
Yeah, but then why do games have 90-something% review? That's not true. People, the good game. Okay, fine. Let's look up NBA 2K. Right? People love NBA 2K.
I mean, I get where you're going at, but I also know that Madden is very profitable.
That's true.
You know, like reviews can be whatever they want to be.
These
but
reviews are
the money
shit too.
Still talks.
2.5 review. This is NBA 2K. 2.5 stars. Only 810 reviews.
NBA
so
2K
far.
is doing all right too, though.
Huh?
Like NBA 2K is making a lot of money.
NBA 2K is a great game. Why is it? Why are these ratings so bad? This is a surprise.
Yeah,
to
that's
me.
why I don't trust ratings at all. I don't trust reviews and ratings. I've never been able to figure it out.
Let's see MLB The Show. Even this one's not. Maybe. Yeah, that is hard to tell.
Yeah, I don't really get the whole review system.
Then I guess I'm way off. I never really looked at the reviews of good games. Like What's the best
Yeah,
sports
I
game?
think there's something else going on there. I don't think people are reviewing the game anymore. I think they're reviewing the company or whatever social media is telling them at the time. I don't think people are actually reviewing the game anymore.
Well, I don't know what's up with Xbox, but all of these
It's
reviews are
weird.
terrible. 356, 2 stars for this. This is a good game with Tiger Woods in the cover.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what's going on? Like, why are these reviews so bad? I don't know. I mean, what's one of the best games on Xbox? I mean, I don't even know.
Oh man, I have no idea.
Let's see. Xbox. Whoops.
Well, I mean, if you're going by money, it's Madden, right?
Well, that's true.
I mean, it's a top 2 game.
Maybe it's that sports gamers don't. Let's see. Battlefield 6.
Oh yeah, there's one. Yeah.
Well, that one's a lot better. It's got 4 stars, but it's still only 3.4K reviews. I mean, people are not reviewing on consoles. That's for sure. I mean, on Steam, they review, I think, way more.
I think reviewing on consoles kind of a pain too. Like I tried to review a game once and it was just a pain in the ass to even do it. So I just bailed.
Yeah.
That might be part of it.
Yeah, it probably is because there's only so many. And I don't know why, but I was under the impression, I mean, I guess my logic was I never really looked at the other games. I mean, I haven't like kind of done this analysis here, and I'm just like this quick check, but I always thought that just people just hate Madden. And I know that they buy it, and I know what you're saying. The numbers don't lie, right?
I just have a hard time believing somebody's going to drop $60 to $100 on Madden when they hate it. I just have a hard time with that.
Well,
because it's just easier to not buy it.
Well, I mean, listen,
they
they get enamored. First of all, like you said, there's a group of people, an entire generation of people that this is all they even know.
Yeah, I think that's exactly. I think they like it.
Well, maybe.
Why wouldn't they?
Maybe
it's the only football game they've ever had. Why wouldn't they like it? You know?
I mean, the one thing I always think are phenomenal are the graphics, right? These graphics are unbelievable.
For sure.
Unbelievable. And maybe maybe you and I are just bitter old school people who think that there's a better product out there that can be made. And maybe 2K couldn't even make a great game right now. I don't even know. I don't know because we haven't been able to see it, right? And when you look at this game just in pictures, you see a pretty like nice looking game. You know, you're not seeing something that, let me turn this on. You're not seeing something that looks horrible, you know, and it's got the NFL teams, the NFL.
And just like, could you imagine being that 20 something, right? Say you're, I don't know, 25 years old and this is the only game you've known, Madden, right? So this is, that is what the graphics of your football game look like. They look almost photorealistic. Now, let's say you're like, oh, I'm tired of Madden. I want to try another football game. Every other football game is not going to look like this. So in your mind, every other football game is a huge downgrade to what you already have. Like, how excited are you to play those games then? You know,
first of all, that's not even talking about the license,
the
right?
Graphics look like ass compared to what you already have. It's like, there's just why would there be any excitement in buying those games?
But then I just don't get it.
Because you didn't play 2K when it was out. You never played that game like that. You weren't even born then, or you were like a infant. So like you've never played any other games that have been like, you never played the 2K franchise. So you don't know anything about gameplay. All you know is the Madden gameplay.
You mean like the younger generation?
Yeah. So like you're 25 years old, right? 2K came out when you were 5. The last 2K came out when you were 5.
Right.
So like you didn't play it. So you don't know what that gameplay was like in the moment when technology was the best of technology. What you know is Madden 25. Right? So like you fire up Axis or Maximum Football and you're like, this doesn't look like my football game. You know, Madden's way better than this. Why would I play this trash? Right? This doesn't have NFL teams. Why would I play this trash?
Right.
This doesn't have online play. Why would I play this? Right. So like, that's kind of why I think just like, it's been too long. Like it's over. 25 years. Nobody's known anything better. So like they're not going to try anything.
I mean, maybe you're right. I mean, when you look at these trailers, you say to yourself, I mean, I start thinking, well, maybe it's just me. Maybe I have a problem, because if I were to go and turn this game on right now, I'm not going to be excited to play it, but I'm also not playing NBA 2K anymore. And I'm not really playing games anymore. I don't play many games.
There's that too.
And maybe there's that component where I'm just old and, bitter, and I just don't love games like I used to. And, I don't have friends calling me to play online, because online is a huge piece of it too. I mean, when you have friends that are playing in a franchise and they all want to play and you pick your team, I'm sure there's some fun there, right? So,
well, we were talking about it earlier too. This kind of goes back to our initial rant on this, where like the world has kind of beat everybody up. And I find that like, I'm just exhausted all the time, right? Like mentally, emotionally, physically, I'm just exhausted with fighting with the world all the time now. I try to play these deep games and I try to really get into a game, and I don't have the energy anymore. Like
well,
I want to play
too.
a deep franchise type game, but like I'm just so tired all the time.
But it's also the time too, the cost there, because we don't have as much time as we were talking earlier in the stream or whatever. But this probably leads us to the piece where we are now. The final like conclusion is like, first of all, you and I don't have the ability to make a big game. So why are we even looking at these games, right? Number one. Number two, even the games that we've made are probably too big of a scope for games that we should be making. I mean, Gridiron, right? Gridiron's been making that game for how long now? And he's not even really focusing on gameplay. I mean, like on the field, right? And it takes a long time to make a big game like that. And that's when maybe, you realize that, wait a second, what we should probably do is hone in on fun. Like just find a small, like find your lane or whatever, and just get just a small piece of a game that you can kind of like just lean in on and make this like vertical slice of a game that can be super fun, and hope that it catches fire. Because anything else that we try to do, especially when it comes to football, the scope is massive, man. Like how long are you working on head tactics? And I know you work on it on the side, but it's like, how much progress have you made, and where are you?
Yeah. I mean, not only like tactics, but like the Desktop Dynasties franchise. Like I've kind of realized what you've realized too. Like it's too big. The scope is too big for one person. It's just, there's no way. I could get the game done and get it out, but then everybody's going to hate it because it's not polished very much, because it's just too big. It's too big for one person to make and polish.
I mean, DK is saying Havo is really, really close to breaking through. Well, breaking through to what? Like, even if I've been sitting here, and yesterday I was working on Legend Bowl just for fun, trying to make the line play better. And I know I can make the game better. I know I can make it a lot better, right? I know I can continue to flush out the gameplay, add new animations, add better AI logic, coaching like strategy to it. And I can flush out all of the menus and put new modes and deeper modes and better trading, and I can do all that stuff. And I've pretty much, the majority of my like decision making for where I'm at right now, it has landed on continue Legend Bowl or get a job. But then there are parts of me that are like, well, wait a second, who's going to buy this game? And like we were talking yesterday, if I were to make a Legend Bowl 2, it's probably not going to make as much as the first one. It probably isn't. Maybe I'm wrong, but it probably isn't. People are going to think it's just an upgrade. People are not going to care. People who didn't like it, who bought it, are never going to buy it again anyways. It's going to be the hardcore guys. And maybe you catch some people that now they love it for some, I don't know, but there's a small percentage of like chance that could happen. And then on top of it, you're going to kill your previous games. That game's dead now. So you get no income from that anymore. And then it's like, well, wait a second. I'm going to spend 1, 2, 3 years making something that is probably going to make less money than I don't know. It doesn't really add up. And I'm like, so when you're saying I'm really, really close, I don't even know what that means. Cause I think the game's a good game. I think I can make it even better, and I would love to make it more fun and more like a game that I want to play. Like I'm dying to play and I can't stop putting it down, but I don't even know like if that's going to happen, and I don't know how long it will take to happen. And I don't even know that would convert into sales. So then I just start abandoning that. And I say, well, just go find a fun, small game you can make and forget about football, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, kind of where I'm at.
That's the trick. It's like, do you want to make a living as a game developer, or do you want to make football games? Like that's really the choice. Or not be or just like, well, no, that really is the choice, right? Because if you want to make a living as a game developer and have a chance at being really successful, like you can't do football games for what we've for all the reasons we've talked about for the last hour. If you do want to make football games, like then the money's got to come from somewhere else, because like like I said, you've had the hugest hit in football gaming in the last 20 years. And like you'll admit too, like it's just barely enough to keep getting by,
Yeah.
So I think thinking that you could recreate that magic every 2 to 3 years, that just seems risky,
Yeah, and I think that sometimes and that's why I've been in some people might say I'm in a great position because I've made some money. And, at the end of the day, what have I really made compared to a real job? I've probably made half of what I could have made, maybe less, which is still really good for making a football game on your own and not having to go into a job. Right.
Yeah.
But you start losing faith, you start losing hope, you feel so burnt out, and it's just like, okay, you have to think about money, and going and getting just a regular job feels so much easier. It just feels easy compared to going and making this game and trying to sell it to people and dealing with all the negativity and the burnout and the stress and the anxiety from it all. And then you're like, so it's really not, it's not a good problem to have. It's just not. Sometimes I wish it didn't do well at all. And I could have just been like, okay, if I want to do it,
would have been easy then, right?
Right. It might not be what I love, but it's a no brainer. You'd have zero, like in your situation, right? Like you've had those
my games
postmortems.
failed, so it was really easy.
Like
it's like, okay, well, I didn't even recoup the cost of the game, so I'll go back to work.
And financially,
decisions made.
Financially, you're way better off as far as what you're making for your work on a day-to-day basis. You're way better off than somebody in my position, because you didn't have that limited success where you're like, oh, well, maybe I can continue to do it, and and have that, it's I don't know. It's not. I might sound like I guess when you may be thinking in your head, oh, well, I would rather have that than this, but I'm telling you, if you had that, you might not feel that way. I mean, I don't. Yeah. I don't feel. And what would you do? Okay, now you're gonna make Legend Bowl 2. I mean.
I don't know.
And to me, that starts to cheapen everything, because Legend Bowl 2, like, you know what I wish I could do? Honestly, I wish I could just work on Legend Bowl and continue to provide free updates.
Yeah.
But you have to find a way to make money. I wish I could just make it better and better and better, and not worry about the menus and reskinning it and showing this beautiful split in the air, like this fucking Shaquan Barkley. Who the hell is this? Barkley, right? He's splitting in the air, and oh, Madden, like, hey, there's a new Madden. Let's go. No. Let's go market Madden and, and buy Madden.
When we both got started, you remember when we started, that's what we said we were going to do, right? We were each going to make our one game, and we were just going to keep upgrading it forever. And then eventually at some point, we realized, oh, in order to do that, you need to have income to pay your rent or your mortgage, and you need health insurance, and you have
Oh,
to be
well,
able
yeah.
to put your kids through school, and you have to buy clothes and food and electricity and cell phones. And like all of a sudden you realize like, oh, well, I can't just make this really cool football game and just keep providing value to people. I actually have to be able to exist in the world.
And that's where that time capsule that I
Yep.
had, where I was like, okay, I'm not worrying about money because I don't have to worry about, I don't have to deal with the fact that the game didn't do so well that I don't have to worry about money. Right. So, because we haven't gotten there yet, we haven't landed yet. So I had that window of time where there was some hope. There was, a dream. There was no comparing or, fumbling around or, overthinking that part of it, right? Like there's no dealing with that. You don't have to deal with that yet. And that was the window of time where, these games are made. They're made with the hope and the no distractions of money, right?
Yeah.
As long as you can
Yep.
afford to make it to the finish line. And that once that hits, then everything changes. Everything kind of,
Changed.
well, once you release your game, then your mindset starts to become, unless you made a hit, your mindset starts to focus on how do you make money versus making this game that you think is potentially going to be a good game, right? Like everything shifts. Now you're not just a guy who set out to make this bucket list game, your dream, job and opportunity. Now you're a game dev. You're Jeff Vogel. Now, how are you going to continue to bring in money every month? How are you going to market the game? Because by the way, another piece of it too is at the end of, while you're in that window and you're just developing it and you're having fun and you're working on it, improving it, making it better, you've never touched the marketing side. You've never touched the store publishing side, right? That happens at the very end. And at the very end is when when it hits you like a freaking tornado and it's like, okay, I have to worry about publishing, marketing, trailers, prices, taxes, revenue. And then it becomes a business at that point.
And then now you're like, wait a minute, what do you mean I only get to take home 50% of
right.
what my sales are?
Right. And what do you mean everybody returns it? Like, what do you mean they could just return it?
Wait a minute.
And you have
I sold $100,000 worth of product and I only got $50,000. Like, wait a minute.
And you have to start thinking, about it as a business now, when before you didn't even worry about that. Like it wasn't even on your radar or on your schedule. And now it's become, and then now it's all full circle. Like, oh my God, how do I make money? How am I going to make money? What do I, and then all of that.
Health insurance.
Yeah. Health insurance, which luckily I haven't had to worry about because my wife has a job, and that's where I'm lucky. Because if I had to worry about health insurance, I wouldn't even be on this freaking thing right now. I'd be working at a job. I mean, I wouldn't even be able to be here. It's just too expensive. Right. And so why are you laughing? Well, you're on vacation.
I need health insurance now.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the reality. I mean, but you know what?
I do remember back in those days how like young and naive we were. We were just going to make this one football game and we were just going to do it forever. And we were just going to make everybody happy. And somehow the money was going to work out. And then now here we are. We're like, yeah, the money thing just killed us.
Well, I think this is maybe this is what I'm realizing. The business part of it killed us. At least
the business part.
For me,
it's the world's obsession with making money and like the requirements it places on you to make X amount of money. And then just the business of game dev doesn't meet that. It doesn't meet that requirement.
Right. Because then when you start thinking, because first of all, like we said earlier, none of us would have ever made a football game had we been thinking of it as a business. You just wouldn't have even started there. Nope. You would have been like, that's not possible. Move on. Next. You wouldn't even consider it. Nope. And so obviously you and I are not motivated by money. You and I don't work hard and don't get passion from money. We just don't.
No.
And to be honest, I don't think I think most people are like humans weren't born and like we don't have it in us to just wake up and be like, oh, I need money. Like money is something that the world created, right? And it's a way to get you things that you need. And then yeah, and you think about it, it's a means to an end, whatever. But it's not a surprise that we're not motivated by money because that doesn't mean anything.
Not
Like
supposed to be.
it's a
Yeah.
bunch of bullshit, you know, and it's a way to keep the masses working and, you know, paying for the rich to get richer and, you know, working for the rich to get richer or whatever. And it's not a surprise to me that I'm not motivated by working on something really hard to just get a paycheck at the end of the day and hope to not get fired. What the hell's that? And be abused and be treated like trash. Like, no, 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 no. No. What are they saying on here?
Worst tech bro ever.
Oh my God. This is horse shit. Anyways, I mean, and that's where the whole business side of it comes, where it's like, let's make some small meme games. And I do have curiosity to do some game jams and think about these ideas that may be fun. And today I woke up with that more positive. I actually woke up feeling positive today, thinking maybe I can just have fun for a little bit because I'm wasting time anyways. Maybe I can have fun for a little bit and do some game jams
Yeah.
and see if it gets me anywhere.
Can't hurt. Right? Having a little
Because
fun now and again can't hurt.
yeah, and if that doesn't work out, then maybe it's just time to go get a job. Like that's kind of where I feel like I'm at. And you know, people who follow me or want a Legend Bowl 2, I would love to do more with my game, you know? And if you guys have a way to find me a marketing company that will pay for all the marketing to make my game make a ton of money overnight, then give it to me and I'll make you a Legend Bowl 2. But until then, I don't know what's going to happen, you know? And I'm sure
I
you
can
would.
imagine the way I'm looking at it too, and I can imagine is be the same way you look at it, is like once the finances become stable in some other way, like then it would feel okay to go back to football and know that you're not going to make any money there, right? Like my football games, I do get a lot of energy to work on football games because I do love working on them when I know the finances are safe somewhere else,
Right.
you know? So like, who knows?
And that's the thing for me. It's like in my current living situation, I could say my finances are safe, but I'm not going to be able to retire ever. I'm not going to be able to do anything to get out of here. My
That
wife,
doesn't feel like safe.
it's not safe.
Maybe a little more.
It's not safe in terms of growth where we need to be. It's safe in
Yeah.
terms of, am I going to be under a bridge, which I can go work at the local grocery store and probably be safe. So, you know, it's safe is not even the right word for me because safe, I think it's, do you feel comfortable with your income and are you actually where you need to be in your life to be able to do things, to be able to retire one day, to have health insurance, right? Do you have, and that's what you're trying to say.
That's kind of what I mean.
That's what
by
you're saying.
safe, is
Yeah.
that like everything's covered. You're
Right.
good. You're not stressed out every day. It's covered.
Right. Like if you all of a sudden got an investor to say, hey, make me whatever football game you want to make, and you have your bills paid for that time of, you know, that time frame, you know, then maybe you could feel good about working on a football game, right?
Yeah.
Or, you know, but
You can enjoy it, right?
yeah, but every day, that's where I kind of lose. I don't know. I kind of lose steam, but I also feel like for me, even if I had the time and somebody say, hey, here's a paycheck to go continue to work on Legend Bowl and make a Legend Bowl 2. I also have issues with that because I'm also at a business point where I'm not just making a better version of Legend Bowl. I have to like reskin it, remarket it. I have to kind of like repackage it like what Madden's great at, which is every year they start every dev cycle, because I was there. Every dev cycle is, what are we going to put on the box? What are going to be those big like slogans that we're going to have? They literally would sit in a room and say, what are our slogans going to be? And they would hone in on those pillars. They wouldn't think about what's going to make this game better. they would think about how can we sell the game next year, which is a business
Yeah.
move, which makes sense, right?
All right, I gotta go to the bathroom. We'll be right back.
Okay. So, anyways, one thing I will let everybody know, we're wrapping up now. It's been a long stream, and sorry for the depressing beginning, but this is what. Oh, did I lose it? All right. Somehow my internet just flickered. One thing that's kind of hard as a game developer is to realize like how many people actually support you. Like you guys are saying, we love you, Havo. My son's friends are in here, and I don't even realize that they watch my channel. And I don't reflect sometimes. And the reason why I think I don't is because in this world, you worry about money so much. And, and it's one of those things where I wish I could just step back and say, you know what? People are playing my game. There are people that did enjoy my game. There are people that do support what I'm doing, do support the YouTube channel, do support, the games that I've made. And I would, and it's hard. It's hard to appreciate that and be grateful for that when money is such an important thing, And I know Klep, I know you love the game and I know that, you want the game to be better. And I know where you're coming from. And I know I can be very like cynical about things. And that's the reality of this world that we're in, that if you're not making as much money as you can make every single day, you're falling behind.
Woo.
Oh my God, that was loud.
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
We're so good at streaming.
No, I was just saying about how I wish if money was no factor, like I would probably be more grateful and appreciative for the things that I should probably be that anyways. And that's what's sad about all this.
It's hard though. It's hard because you and I, like I said, for the last 2 or 3 days, we've been going through a crisis. And it all really comes back to that same thing. Like we want to enjoy what we do. We want to enjoy life. We want to enjoy the things we make. But it just feels like the reality of the world won't allow you to,
And that's where you either need to find a way to I don't know, like you always say, lower your bills to the point where, you can almost do anything.
It's the only thing I can think of. I can't think of any other solutions,
Yeah. And then even if you were able to do that, you're still not living this lavish life. You're living a life of like poverty.
Food and health insurance.
Yeah. And that's where, it becomes, difficult to be grateful, to be appreciative, to, and I was just talking about how, there's a part of me that I'm always thinking forward. I'm always thinking ahead. I'm never really looking back and saying, wow, look at what I've accomplished, and even like my son's friends coming in here, I know that he always says, oh, my friends always like, they watch your channel, they look up to you somehow and they're like, they think you're cool, whatever. And I'm just, on one hand, it's kind of cool, but then on the other hand, it's like, am I really like my kids' friends? Like,
you're like, I don't want that.
Well,
don't be like me.
Not even don't be like me, but it's like, is that where I'm at in my life where, because life's serious, man. As you get older, this is serious business. Like you got to make money and you have to, protect your family and you have to, it's being the cool guy or whatever you want to call it. It's not cool when you get older because you're going to be under a bridge with dreadlocks being cool, smoking a cigarette, right? Like I'm not trying to be cool. I'm trying to be, I guess I'm just trying to do what I think I'm passionate about doing. And then also hopefully make some money while I do it. I mean, and then have some kind of stability, but I think like for you and I, our situation is I think it would be smart for you and I to give small games a try, like a really
I think
legitimate
it's worth
try.
a try.
Yeah.
It's worth a try just to see if there's legs. Because we've tried football for over a decade. We haven't like different levels of success, but but not like enough to make it a slam dunk. So maybe it's okay to try something else.
I think we have to at this point.
Yeah.
And I think that I think that these conversations, at least for me, just hearing myself talk and then hearing what you have to say, I think it's that therapy that I need to really get outside of my brain and think kind of like clearly and say, okay, if you're a solo developer and you only have so many resources, so much time, so much money, so much whatever, so much skill, and you're trying to make money, what should you do? And I don't think that going into a 4 or 5 year full-time, life cycle of a game makes any sense. It's just too much risk, too much unknown, and it'll just the burnout alone. I mean, I'm burnt out from making my game. Forget about.
I can imagine like starting at this point on another 5-year journey, hoping that you make at least what you made last time. I could see that would just mentally that would be really tough.
Yeah, that would be devastating for me. I mean, I barely got through the first one.
I remember how hard College Bowl was for you, and that was only a 2-year cycle.
Yeah. College Bowl wasn't easy for me to get through. Legend Bowl wasn't easy for me to get through either. I mean, there were plenty of times where I just wanted to quit. And that's when I had hope.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think that it's worth taking a shot because, and if it doesn't work out, then, if I had
small games, it doesn't take that long, right?
Yeah.
You don't waste a lot of time.
Because even like in your situation, like if I had to go get a job right now, and I'm close to that anyways, but if I had to get a job, I don't even know if I'd work on football because it's just too long. I'd probably work on something that's shorter and fun.
It's so big. Football's so big.
Yeah. Like what those butterscotch guys are doing might work for them because they're actually having fun with the game. It's a small game. They probably feel super like powerful with all of their skills to make this small little game. It probably feels easy and fun. And then on top of it, they have time to market the game. They're doing shorts. They're constantly putting, little marketing videos out there because they actually have the bandwidth to do it because they're not overwhelmed in this rabbit hole of a game, right?
Yeah.
But then people also say, you should team up with Shawn, team up with whomever. And then there's a part of me that's like, yeah, well, it's not that easy, and it's also, everybody has to align and everybody has to want to do the same thing. And, working
and
with
even
people.
If you had all that, even if the team up worked great and like, let's just say it was perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
For every dollar that you make selling a game, you already only get 50 cents out of it. You team up with somebody else. Now that 50 cents turns into 25 cents.
Right. That's the killer too, right?
Now you're talking about like for every dollar of game you sell, you only get to keep 25 cents. Like
and it's not even a case where, okay, now you have 2 people. That means you should speed it up times 2. It doesn't even work that way.
Nope. That's not how it works.
No, you may get like 20% max, maybe faster. I mean, I don't even know. 50% would be the max, I would imagine, but you can only go so fast. So it's not just like a linear progression, type of thing.
Plus, you got to have perfectly complementary skills, which is really hard to find.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'm going to say before I'm done. I know we've taken way longer than we probably wanted to. Was
2 hours, man.
Yep. Therapy.
That's a record.
Therapy, baby.
We'll go for 3 next time.
Sounds like now may not be the best time to make another football game. Maybe make something else that's fun and we'll make money and come back to Legend Bowl. Yeah, Frank got the
Frank gets
the picture. He gets it. Yeah, he understands. No, what I wanted to show was, let's see if it pops up because the Legend Bowl is going to be on Steam's daily deals page today.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of excited about that because that's not something that you always kind of have access to, and they give it to some games every once in a while if you keep asking enough. and it's going to be on sale starting today at like literally in a minute. And hopefully, and it'll be there for I think like a week or two,
Awesome.
maybe 2 weeks. I put it for just because I'm trying to maximize some sales here. So if you guys know anybody that wants to buy Legend Bowl or play another football game, like we were talking, give it a shot. It's going to be $9.99, which is I think 60% off, and it's a good game. You know, it's just not going to be AAA, and I think for $9.99, it's a lot cheaper.
Excellent deal.
I mean, I got
Tell
my
your
son
friends.
last night. I got him Chinese food just for him, literally just for him. It was 20 something bucks. So it's like you can't even buy one small meal for yourself
I
for
got Wingstop last night for $20.
that's actually not bad. 20 bucks. I mean,
It was actually pretty good, but like it's still $20. Like that's more. That's twice as much as Legend Bowl.
oh, there it is. Today's deal.
There we go.
There we go. It's out. So pick it up, guys. I mean, if you're interested, I also have on the Steam page, I also have playing some stuff here. So it should show up here in a second as being, I mean, it's discounted. Oh, this is College Bowl. There we go. So it's $9.99, and I also got some Angry Joe videos playing in the back. So I got it all set up for people to come and check it out. But yeah, if you don't have the game and you're at all interested, or you have friends or family that you want to, you know, get it for or share it with them, go for it, man. Like every little bit counts, and you know, and I do appreciate all the support. As much as we get down, I think that both of us appreciate you guys out there who, you know, who love these games and want more football. So yeah. So let's see how this sale goes. Maybe I'll do a video sharing how it went. I know last time I did this one time before, and it did pretty well. So we'll see how it goes.
Cool.
But that's all I have, Shawn.
All right.
I appreciate you coming on with me. I think we walked away with, I don't know, we're probably tired.
Good therapy session.
Good therapy.
YouTube therapy.
Yeah, and hopefully we have a path going forward until next time. We should do this again. I think we should do this, you know, at least every couple months, maybe.
Yeah.
Try it out and have a little bit of, I don't know, socializing too, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So anyways, that's it. You have anything else you want to mention before we get off?
I think that's it.
All right.
I'm good.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Go buy Legend Bowl. Go buy all of his stuff too. Go buy Head Coach. What was it? The first one, Desktop Dynasties. Go buy Desktop.
Yeah, don't buy that one. Buy Cyber League.
Go buy Cyber League.
Yeah.
But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace. All right.